Well, we're having a better start to the season with Newcastle this time round, but it's still not fantastic. Welcome back to episode 8 of our FM23 beta series with Newcastle United. Since the last episode yesterday, we've played a few more games in the Premier League. We're doing better than last season, but we're still not quite there yet. We can see we obviously had that Carabao Cup match. We got revenge on Spurs for the first match of the season, although they were definitely playing, if I remember rightly, I don't want to say weakened team, but that's definitely not their first team. I mean, Troy Parrott's starting. I don't think Harry Kane's even on the bench at all. Son isn't on the bench, I don't think. So a weakened team. We drew 2-2 with Everton, although that was very annoying because we were winning 2-0 and then we conceded goals in the latter half of the second half. Lost to Leicester. And then we've just beat Aston Villa 3-0. Today, we're facing Nottingham Forest in the Carabao Cup third round because we need some sort of domestic trophy run this season. And then West Ham in the Premier League. And hopefully, we can go and do okay in both of those. The match then against Nottingham Forest up first. We have rotated the team a little bit. Trubbin is making his debut. We've got Pedraza, Silva, Nianzou and Trippier as our back four. Guimaraes and Wilcock in midfield. So Maximin Palmer, Toivin and Arizo up front. Jamal Lewis, Yao Mario, Terraria and Anderson are all injured for the side currently, which isn't exactly great, but we are going to live with it. Terraria hasn't been that good. Lucas Terraria came in looking fantastic. His star rating since he's got here has dropped to 3 stars, so that's dropped right down, and honestly he hasn't really performed in any of his games. Also, first time you're going to see on the channel, look at these updated graphics. I know it's not a lot, but it's nice to have the branding. We've got the little Carabao Cup sign there, the actual game score, so the match score looks slightly different, and that's all lovely stuff. It's a little bit more immersive, isn't it? Can we get latest scores, please? Just so we can see what else is going on in the Carabao Cup. Trippier there, rising above everyone to head away that big long ball forward from Nottingham Forest. And Toivin, oh, what is that? Just square the ball. That is useless. He does that far too often. I'm not over keen on him at the moment. Also, the Man City Manchester United match, which apparently, I'm assuming that's the kickoff time, and Man United didn't win 45 goals to 19. If they did win 45 goals to 19, I A, have some questions, and B, would like to report a bug. But either way, it looks like we're not going to get their score, even though clearly the game is currently playing because Cancelo has just scored a goal. We're well ahead in this tie when you have a look at these match stats, and yet we're not really seeing much from our team. Trippier again cutting out that pass from Forest. This should be an easy winnable game for us. The only reason this one's even coming on the channel is because, again, we need a domestic cup run. So Maximin, though, running through for his first goal of the season. He's not been playing a lot. For some reason, I can't remember why, I had to play Hudson-Odoi over on the left, which is his more natural position, despite my insistence that we've brought him in to be a right winger. And he's kind of pushed some Maximum out of the side because he gets really good ratings over on that left-hand side. So Maximin is one of the players that is being rotated into this team. I know if you obviously don't know that, he looks like the first name on the team sheet and you didn't realise he was one of the ones that had been rotated in. But he has. He's been coming off the bench more often than not lately. Today he's getting a rare starting appearance and making something of it, to be fair. Scoring a goal, reminding me that he exists and actually maybe he should be starting ahead of Hudson-Odoi, and we've just conceded. I know. Shock. Absolute shock. Newcastle conceding in this series is practically unheard of. Us not winning a match, practically unheard of. And yet, here we are once again against a Nottingham Forest side that we are dominating, and we're drawing 1-1. Some things never change, and once again it's Forest with a free kick. That's concerning. Wilcock here. Willock. not call Wilcock at all. Willock bringing the ball forward, goes on a fantastic run, but possibly neglecting to pass it when he should have and just running into trouble in the form of a Nottingham Forest defender who clears that one long. We have got the ball back pretty much instantly though. Guimaraes into Cole Palmer, who's going to rifle that one into the back of the net for his 4th goal of the season. Now he's got himself firing again. His first couple of matches in yesterday's episode, he wasn't necessarily fantastic. Now he's got himself firing again. He took a bit of time to get going. He's looking like £34 million well spent. Although I still think that was possibly a little bit on the expensive side. If he turns into a fantastic wonderkid and is going to grab us double figures in goals and do the same in assists every season, then £34 million is very, very cheap. And Trubbin here is not exactly having a debut to remember. That's 2 goalies he's conceded off of set pieces. That one's awarded as well. Oh, Newcastle in FM23. Just, I don't know. They just don't see. I mean, look, he's faced 3 shots and he's conceded 2 of them. I'm not happy with the performance, guys. I'm not going to lie. Trubbin, I swear, if you don't sort yourself out, you'll be coming off, because I don't think this is a defensive fault. This looks like, I genuinely think that Livakovic saves at both of those goals, or at least one of them. And Palmer's looking tired, which is less than ideal when at the moment he's the best player we have on the pitch. But I do think we're going to have to take him off. So Palmer can come off. Let's play Enzo Fernandez there. I'd be interested to see what he could do there. I'm almost tempted to take Trubbin off, but I don't want to. I don't want to take him off. It sends the wrong message to him as well. Matias Arezzo, though, off you come. Isaac not even making the bench today, just because I feel like the Carabao Cup, look, we can rest him. And realistically, I was thinking Nottingham Forest, they're a great team. I'm a massive fan of Forest. But in this world, it should be a very, very easy game for us. Instead, we're making it very, very difficult for ourselves. Trippier is 1 yellow card away from suspension. So Maximin's taken a knock. This is all great stuff. Hudson-Odoi can... No, Zalewski can come on. I'm very wary of not wearing out Hudson-Odoi when I know he is a little bit on the dodgy side in terms of injuries. Nyanzu's not looking great either, so Timber's going to come on. We're basically having to bring on the big guns now. We're bringing on the likes of Timber. Wilson is kind of the big gun in this situation, at least. You know, Enzo Fernandez is one of the big guns. Guimaraes needs to come off as well. Okay, that's our 3rd substitution made, and we still don't look like we're in this tie. I never remember as well, does the Carabao Cup go straight to penalties? I think it does, but I could be entirely making that one up. I'm not actually sure. I don't believe it goes to extra time, and I don't believe it goes to a replay. That's a big, big, long searching ball forward, although we snuck in and got it back. Zalewski there pressing and doing what we should do more often, which is just squaring that ball to our striker. And Wilson there, on his first minutes of the season, there to score a goal. Again, another player getting an opportunity in this match and reminding me why we should be playing him maybe more often. Although Isaac's been in really good form and scoring loads of goals, it's mainly because I know that Wilson is leaving it, and I don't think we'll be extending his contract. So we're kind of focusing on using Matias Arezzo rather than Wilson. But equally, if every time we bring him on, he's going to do absolutely nothing and not score and have a poor performance, then he won't be playing. We'll send him out on loan in the January transfer window, and Wilson can be our backup striker. Maybe Arezzo can go out and get regular first team minutes starting every game and come back to us in the summer transfer window a changed man, ready to be a very, very capable backup and eventually replacement to Alexander Isak, because I think Isak's now wanted by Real Madrid last time I checked. I'd expect Real Madrid to pay a decent amount of money for him, at least enough that we can go out and replace him with at least a striker that's equally of the same quality as Isak. But I'd rather not. just because Isaac seems to be the player that plays quite well. Although Wilson is in again here. Is his shot saved by the goalkeeper on this occasion? But if we were to lose Isaac in the January transfer window, we could do worse than play Callum Wilson up front all the time. I don't think he's a bad player at all. I just think he's the wrong side of 30. Is he the wrong side of 30? Is he over 30? I think he's 31. Maybe even 32 by now. I'm pretty sure that's why I was going, let's not renew his contract. Although it could have been a star rating. We've conceded again. What are we doing? And I've used my 5 substitutes. That was stupid. Because really, I want Livakovic in goal if we go to penalties. So really, I should have thought about that. And probably not use my 5 substitutes. Hindsight and all that being 2020. But it looks like it's going to penalties. Again, we'll find out now if I'm right or not. Does the Carabao Cup go to penalties? I guess we're going to find out because we're not scoring here. Despite, again, dominating this match. Absolutely dominating it. We're not going to make it count. I am, just for this at least, going to speed this up a little bit. Wilson with our first penalty. He does manage to slot that one home, albeit in a world where the goalkeeper did almost save it. And now Emmanuel Dennis, formerly of Watford, and part of our Watford rebuild that we did on FM23. Go and watch that if you haven't. He was the horrible man that I was almost at the end of recording my rebuild that took me 3 or 4 days, and then he went to Nottingham Forest, which was really unhelpful in a world where I was trying to make a realistic rebuild. Never mind. Anyway, that aside, it's 2-2 on penalties at the moment. Trubbin hasn't really looked like saving either of them. He's gone the right way, but that's about it. Enzo Fernandez here. He's going to slot his home very, very comfortably. And now Trubbin here to face his 3rd penalty of the shootout. And again, goes the right way, but doesn't manage to get a hand to it. Pedazra now standing up to take our 4th penalty. And he doesn't score his. That makes it a little bit more interesting if you're a Nottingham Forest fan. It makes it horrible if you're a Newcastle fan. And now we find ourselves in the position we need to score ours, and Forest either need to miss or Trubbin needs to save their last penalty. Or we're going to be crashed out the Carabao Cup to Nottingham Forest, who are in the Championship. Zalewski, oh, that was close, but he's just got away with that. He's just got away with that. And now Trubbin has the opportunity to make himself, maybe not a hero, it's the Carabao Cup, let's not go nuts. But he has the opportunity, at least, to make a marker. And he does do it. He saves that one, albeit with his feet, which is not an ideal way to be saving a penalty in a penalty shootout, but it works on this occasion. And we've slotted away our 6th penalty. And once again, the pressure is now on Forest to either score or miss. I was going to say score or miss. That sentence started off really well and then just tailed off into a brain cloud. McKenna, though, is going to score. Nottingham Forest a 6th penalty. And now we move on to our 7th with Willock standing up again. That looks like that's going to be a thing in FM23, with goalkeepers coming very, very close to saving penalties, going the right way, but not quite managing it. And now again, Forest stepping up, pressure on them to go and score this penalty. And yeah, they score that one pretty easily. Trubbin not making any effort there to save that one. And now we've got Yorian Timber taking a penalty. He does send the goalkeeper the wrong way very, very comfortably. This is turning out to be quite a long shootout. This was meant to be, let's quickly record an episode. It won't take that long. We're playing Forest. That's going to be a quick game. They're in the Championship, for goodness sake. It's just the Carabao Cup. Or we managed to get through. We've just managed to get through by the skin of our teeth, and it's taken a penalty shootout and Nottingham Forest hitting the post. But we have got through. I wouldn't say we've got through unscathed. I feel mentally scarred by this series. But nonetheless, we have managed to get through. Now we just need to go turn our focus to West Ham. And this is going to be our team for that match against West Ham. We've got Livakovic in goal, Rakitic, Gomez, Timber and Trippier is our back four. Gramares and Rodriguez, our centre field partnership from last season, starting midfield. So Maximum, Fernandes, Hudson-Odoi and then Isaac up front today. There is a little bit of rotation in there, of course, because Jamal Lewis, for example, injured at left back, so we can't put him in there. And then Pedazwa is just tired from that Nottingham Forest match. We've got other players that are like that as well. That's why Fernandes is playing here, because Cole Palmer's tired, Toiven's tired, Anderson is injured. So we haven't got an injury crisis yet, but that is that penalty shootout and that longish game where we were on top and running up and down for a lot of it, and obviously a midweek game as well, has meant that we are a little bit tired. Enzo though into Isaac here. I've just realised I have now got this a notch up to what I normally have it because of that penalty shootout, because obviously I'm glad I did increase it, because we'd still be doing that penalty shootout now. That was such a long shootout. I do seem to remember in the FM22 beta as well, it was a bit like that. By which I mean there was lots and lots of longer penalty shootouts, and then it kind of seemed to sort itself out with the full game. But originally, you quite regularly get sort of 13, 14 penalties for each team. Enzo here into the box, but doesn't manage to get that shot on target. He kind of hooked it a little bit there. Didn't look very comfortable. Again, I'm very interested to kind of see what he can do as a centre attacking midfielder. He's been very, very good as a central midfielder, but it's useful to have him there. And also with Gramares playing there at the moment, he's likely to leave in the January transfer window, I would imagine, because he still wants to leave. We just couldn't get a bid that was big enough for him. We're kind of looking for at least 50 million plus as a bare minimum for Gramares. And everyone coming in was going, we'll pay 25, 30 million pounds. The likes of Leeds, I think West Ham actually came in with a couple of bids. And it wasn't teams we were going to be selling him to for that sort of price. The bigger teams weren't really interested, but with him likely to leave in January, I would think it'd be interesting to see how Fernandes does, because we kind of need to know, are we looking for a central midfielder to replace Gramares? Are we looking for two? Because Fernandes becomes someone that plays in that central attacking role. Cole Palmer can play on the right. And right now, Yao Mario injured. Toivin doesn't seem to play out there very well. And Hudson-Odoi seems to predominantly be playing on the left for me at the moment. Albeit I'm aware he is playing on the right today. But I think he's a lot less effective on the right, despite that being the position I brought him in to play. So there still could be, in the January transfer window, some changes. And we have still got £40 million left to spend in our transfer budget. So Maxim in there getting himself in a really good position on the edge of the box. And then the end product leaving a little bit to be desired there. Callum Hudson-Odoi has suffered an injury there. That's not great. We could bring on Cole Palmer there. Or we could bring on Toivin, both of who are tired. So Palmer it is, because I trust him a little bit more. And I've never played him out on the right, despite him being natural in that position. He's always played through the middle for us. So again, it's someone else. We can see what he can do today. We're on top again, and yet we're behind. I was about to say we're on top, and yet we don't look like we're likely to score. And once again, we've conceded. We are such a dodgy team. We are such a dodgy team. Defensively, I really hope that this is a problem with the beta. And this isn't going to be the thing in real game, because goalkeepers seem dodgy as all heck. Cole Palmer there to be our saviour once again. That man has bailed us out of all sorts of trouble since he's been here. Just all sorts of trouble since he's been here. Great ball into him there from Trippier. Palmer, who has no right to be jumping above any defenders. He's not someone with a great jumping reach. He's not someone that has a fantastic header on him. And yet, he's the man that rises above all of them to go and put that in. Callum Wilson's going to come on for Isaac because Isaac's done absolutely nothing in this match. And when we are the more attacking team, I'd expect him to have a better rating at this point. Maximum is having a decent game, so we'll leave him on. I'm just kind of looking at ratings at the moment. Rodriguez, not really doing a lot, so Joe Willock is going to come on for him. Guimarães, we have told him to ease off to tackles already. We've obviously got a couple more substitutions, but I'd really like to get back in this tie. I feel like there should be another goal in us, but we never seem to be able to find it. Enzo Fernandez here though. Back to Gomez. My game is lagging all over the place, and I don't entirely know why. It's very annoying though. I'm sure you just saw it on the recording. It's not OBS lagging. My game is lagging like no one's business. It's all right now. It just had a weird moment there where I felt like I was watching a football match in stop motion. Really strange. So Maximin here. Ball into Palmer. Palmer gets ahead to it, but it isn't on target on this occasion. Can't add to his tally for the day. Let's have a quick gander as well, if we can, at the league table. Where at the moment we can see we're down in 12th. Really not having a great season. We're not having a great series with Newcastle. Full stop, really. Gomez now. And once again, the game is lagging all over the place. What are you doing? Why are you being like this? Guimarães with a big ball forward here to Wilson, who does get ahead to it, down to Willock. Over to St. Maximum now, who's coming over into the centre. Wilson to Palmer. Palmer through into the box. Has a shot. It is saved, and it will go out for a corner. Palmer causing West Ham today all sorts of problems. And we probably need to, on the 85th minute, Trippier, I know you're about to take a corner, my lad, but if you could just stay still for a few more seconds. Trippier probably needs to come off, so we'll put Timber out there. We'll bring on, let's bring on Vivian for Trippier in that centre-back spot. Timber doesn't look a lot better, to be fair. We need a bit more depth still. We looked okay, but we do still need a bit more depth. And then Toivonen can come in there for Enzo Fernandez. Trippier with the corner, looking for Palmer again. I don't know why we're aiming for Palmer, because we have no reason to be aiming for him. We're meant to be aiming for our two centre-backs who are on the near post, but apparently that isn't really working out for us. Gomez to Vivian here then, who launches a big ball forward, trying to find Palmer. Timber, Palmer again, turns away from his man and heads towards the centre of the park. Out wide to St. Maximin. That one is headed away. And then somebody there misses their header. Who are you? It's Willock. Just completely missed his header and let West Ham in there. We have cleared that up. Palmer trying to find Wilson. Nods it back to Palmer. Can we get a crossover to the centre? We can, to Willock. And Willock puts it in the back of the net. His first goal of the season. You've seen all of Willock's minutes played this season. Started it in the last match, getting a start here today as well. He didn't get a start here, getting some minutes here today. And that was a lovely bit of play there. Palmer crossing that one over into the centre to find Willock. Now it's just the case, and I know we've only got a few more minutes, but let's just drop back here. Let's just drop back, get our defensive midfielders a bit deeper. It didn't make any difference because there was no time, but we do win a match. We've won 2 matches today, albeit one was via penalties, but I think that might be the first time in this series we've won both matches on the day. I genuinely think this is the first episode we've won both matches. I'm happy with that. We are now chasing those European continental spots. We're only a couple of points behind Man City, who are in 5th. We're just behind on goal difference behind Southampton. We're looking okay. It's not a great start to this season, but it is a start to the season that will do us. Now we need to go face Leeds. We've got Watford, West Brom, and then Wigan we got drawn against in the Carabao Cup 4th round. You would think we should be picking up comfortably some points in that month of October, and we should be able to rise up the table a little bit before we face the likes of Man City and Liverpool. That's the plan anyway. Let's see if it pans out. If you have enjoyed today's episode, of course, please do hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button, all that lovely stuff, turn your notification bell on. There is obviously this series going on daily at the moment, but then we will have our Journeyman once the full game launches as well, so it's definitely worth doing. But until then, guys, I will see you again tomorrow, where we're probably, I'd imagine, be facing Manchester City and Liverpool, and hopefully a little bit further up the league. Bye-bye.